really got a organization set up, working on it. I'll let him go through what it's all about.
Call down, just call an ambulance. I'd probably be dead. The name of the organization is Veterans We Got Your Back. And it is designed to do nothing but prevent suicide. The suicide rate in the United States and worldwide in the United States is atrocious. If you look at it in terms of money lost in our economy, it's in the billions. One report had $1 trillion. Now, how do we get to that point? Simply because the people who are left after of suicide are the people that are impacted. And that includes the federal government, the state government, the government, the local government. Somebody's going to have to pay someplace along the line for something. They take into account also the impact of what his money that he earned each day or year was lost. So they look at everything on the table as to the amount of money lost, but they don't look at the people. People, the families are the ones who suffer the most. The person who does the suicide doesn't realize how terrible it is for the family that they're leaving behind. Unfortunately, I've had 7, most of them were veterans, people who have committed suicide in my long, I'm almost 79. So my lineage, I've had 7 people of which I knew firsthand. One was a family member. And I think it's important for each and every one of us to look at your situation and think, who do I know that has committed this act? Is there anybody out there that doesn't know someone? That's the bad part. We're all touched by the suicides. I hate to see the kids because I've seen them at the funerals. The little kids are the worst because they wonder where's daddy. And there's no answer. So being the emotional person I am, I started 3 years ago here at and took over the job in the VFW in St. Keys as quartermaster. So the quartermaster is in charge of the money and everything else, and they let the chicken out because I use that money as much as I can for suicide prevention. But now forming my own 501c3 with the help of Gary, we have to raise our own money, and that's a core. We all know that business. I was in business. You were always working to get that next dollar someplace. Well, enough of the money side. How do we prevent suicide? There's a number of factors that you're unaware of that a person demonstrates prior to committing this act. And I would just assume let's just talk about veterans right now. If you go into well, I'll tell you a good example. If you go to church and somebody's sitting in the back pew and they look sad, they haven't taken care of themselves. They're maybe dirty, they may be wearing old clothes, they just don't care. That's the person who you really need to approach after the service is over and ask them. There's a series of questions, and it's not hard. All we do is memorize them. First thing you know, have you wished you were dead? Or wished that you could go to sleep and not wake up? You see an individual who's sad, melancholic, in that state of mind, don't be bashful, please. Because there's other things that are going on. If it's not a suicide, it could be a moral injury. which we're gonna talk about just a little bit again. We've got a person now in our club who, a priest, an Anglican priest, who's just been asked by his diocese to do a program about moral injury for the church. Moral injury can cause suicide. And you all don't, who knows about moral injury? Anybody? It's a deep, serious situation. It's in a family or an individual who has done something that's not PTSD related, but it is a moral stigma on their body. They don't know how to deal with it. It's important that we recognize it and go to it. Back to our suicide guy. He can be sitting in a bar. Bar is always used because most veterans go to bars. I don't drink anymore, so I can't go to a bar. I can't, but I'm Tuesday. So, or Mr. Benetti, I know you because someone said that. What about that? Let's just say that the father's sitting in the stands and he looks distraught, his son's out there and he's hitting the ball, throwing good, he's having a good evening. His family's not reacting because dad or mom, but primarily dad, dad is very, very troubled about the fact that he's worrying where's my next paycheck coming from. That's going to help me to feed my family. He doesn't know, so we need to help him. There's organizations that will give them money in the interim to help them to move out of this place. And it's a dark, dark, deep, bad place. I know, I've seen it. They don't want to talk to you. They want to do anything, but they will listen most of the time. So you talk to this individual to sit in the stands and ask him one simple question. How do you don't wake up in the morning? That's the question I like to talk about to a mom or a dad, primarily a dad. Because I've been in situations where being a combat vet, wonder if you are going to wake up in the morning. Everybody's done in the military knows that to be true. What's going to happen? You don't know in that situation. But the person that's going to do the deed does know. So you say, have you actually had any thoughts about killing yourself? No. Sometimes they're just lying, you can see it in their eyes. Big time. Thinking about how you might do this. How are you going to kill yourself? Doctor asked me that one time. I was laying in the bed. He came up. Said, how do you think you can kill yourself? He wanted information about a bunch of patients down in the site again. So how did you do it? I was getting my 45 on. I pulled out my 45 laying in the bed. His eyes got big as saucer. I think they have a gun in the hospital, but I can't. Second nature. So a gun is primarily the number one use for suicide. Second could be pills or a car, or vice versa. Whatever's easiest. Jump off a cliff. Jump off a balcony of a church. Anything. Have you started to work out the details of how you're going to kill yourself? We'll see. Well, yeah. Can we talk about it? Very simple stuff. Can we talk about it? He said, no, you can say, obviously you have reason for thinking that. We talk about it. Family by the end, we talk about it. Okay, this is all real simple stuff. It's baseline, it's not invasive, it's not aggressive. It's just being a fellow human being looking to help somebody. Help your citizen who's next door to you. Last question. Have we done anything, started to do anything, or prepared to do anything in your life? Where are we at in this process? Because it is a process. My second cousin decided he was going to stand in front of a train And he did. That was his human process. Nobody knew it. But he had just come back from Afghanistan, which is, was a bad place. Wasn't there. I was in Vietnam. Another bad place. Glorious hell. Guys that come back need help. The ladies that come back need help. Women have a higher percentage rate of population of the veterans AR that come back, especially in Afghanistan. There's an awful lot of sexual stuff going on. It wasn't reported until these ladies got back. Talked to a person. And it wasn't pretty. Made me so mad. I was wanting to call somebody. And anybody's vet's got a team someplace. Wait, so you gotta look at the ladies. I'm fortunate this year, I got 2 women coming to my annual fishing event. It's gonna be September 23rd, 24th, 25th. Down at Lane's Inn, and I think most of us know that condos. Real nice place. They've been over the back, helps. Jill is very much concerned about suicide also. She and her whole family. So those are the 3 questions. And they're not hard to memorize. Or just take 3 of your own questions. And develop them for something that would help you have some kind of interaction with someone who you spotted that doesn't act right. How many of you have seen someone who didn't act right? Stressed, melancholy, that given up, all care on their personal body, habits, their family. They quit work, they drank, drinking drugs. That's all of it. Your 4-way test up there falls right into my suicide prevention. Because y'all have to have fellowship and integrity. Fellowship part belongs to Jesus. Take care of your neighbor. That's #1 commandment. Love yourself and love your neighbor. Love these guys and ladies. Help them. If you want to help them, you can get involved with my organization. We're always looking for people to help. You have to understand, it's a tough job. It'll bring tears to your eyes a lot. It's pretty hard. Nobody ever said, that's why I started this. I go, oh no.
So how do you raise money and what does the money go towards? The intervention stuff is wonderful, but
Yeah.
When you need help, what is it, like what, how can you need help?
Well, the money part of it is the biggest because everything costs money. For instance, if I'm going to do a event, which I'm going to do down at the community church in November, just prior to the season of celebrating, that's when you see a lot of suicides, November, December, tons of them. Okay, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put on an event first of all. I'm going to invite all you folks down there to come to our event and learn what goes on at that. See people talk. We're going to do a lunch break. I buy the lunch for you. I get it at Ned's. The last time I got it. Listen, she's the absolute saint. She helps me an awful lot with that stuff. And that's very truthful. So we have lunch, we have handouts that we have to buy.
Yeah.
Some of them, or I print them at printers, which is a cost. That's just one event. We have 4 of those a year, 1 quarter. That one event might cost me $250, $300. So the rest of it is going to go to other things like going to Lebanon, which I'm going to in September. I think it's the 14th, it's a Saturday. And we're working with the Christian Motorcycle Club down there. Coach does. So we want you to come set up a booth at our banquet. It's a big barbecue football down there. It's been attended by bunches and bunches of people. So I'm going to take my tent popped up, go down there, answer all questions, talk with anybody and everybody. Then I'm going to have an event down there for the DFW down there, because I'm not associated with the DFW. So I'll go any place to every place to talk. See, I'm not bad. Never can, we don't plan on being bad. So to do that, we have to switch, we're gonna have to rent from, listen to them, go give us one, it could be the reading, I don't, slide study. But when we get a date and they want to come in, let's have it on that date, or help us get people there, we want to turn out. If I have to do a supper, I will. Not rich, but I got enough.
Get us the information and we'll.
Okay, but not a problem.
Well, I guess look at the resources for those that are like having, you know, suicidal thoughts, things like that, because this is the first time hearing in this area, there's a huge issue with like suicide, but I don't know of any resources around here.
Well,
Like besides some of the behavioral, like compass, you want to see some of them.
Office is my number one go-to. Laura Powell is wonderful. She's got tons of handouts. She and Gabby come and they do the first part of the address for the event. So I got a professional doing that. She volunteers her time. It's not part of Compass. Now, if it was Compass, it would be the same presentation. She just volunteers. Gabby's great. She knows all the tops, first responders, firemen, and they have to go to that because it's required.
Right.
Okay, after that, then we have my friend, Father Mays, M-A-Y-E-S. He's a retired Navy medic. He had a hand with a bunch of jarheads. So he got out and went to divinity school, became a priest. Now he's a priest and he's wonderful. He's my private confessor. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't know anybody in this area. Having a confession to talk to. There's a prevention for suicide. Having somebody discuss your everyday problems, how you're going to overcome them, and how you're going to do it. You got to get there time. So we got that coming in. Then the big thing, we have a lot of those small and important. Don't pay for anybody's staff. People that work for us, it's like they volunteer. A lot of it is like Compass. They can write it off, or they put it in their community service stuff, which is super, because it goes down and somebody sees that they work with suicide. The state is really big on suicide. You can check it out, Department of Health, Mental Health. They got all kinds of programs.
So on your site, is there a way to go and you have links of places to go that would, like, somebody who's having thoughts to go to?
Actually, 988, the new number,
Right.
is very important because it's not the old number anymore. 988 is a designated number. Suicide. We have in Laurie one person who's a retired, I think he's Army Navy guy. When there's a 988 call, it goes straight to him if it's not busy. If he's busy, it goes to another person. And that's as far as I know. Just one gentleman.
Well, if you haven't done it, I recommend you reach out to all the new chambers, because all three chambers will put your info in each weekly class for free, you know, if you haven't done that, that would be great.
We've asked them, and I get lost in stuff.
I'll let it, I mean, we know, you know, we'll do.
I appreciate
the late last one, we'll take care of it. I'll help you, the other two, yeah. Well, I know that's true, but I want to, yeah, you're on that board, so. And then, so, yes,
Small things that help me, you know, get the word out.
yeah,
So that more people should get the literature, they get involved, they know what to look for. That's what's important.
well, I know we don't do this for every speaker, but I'd like to make a motion that they, we donate $250 to pay for this, no matter what it is.
We have a vote. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye. So, let's,
What is the thank you? We got your back. So we had to change it. I brought a bunch of cards. And I got my numbers on there, my email address, everything. This is the old organization. And it's the quartermaster information. That phone number is me. So if y'all run into somebody that wants to talk about suicide or injury, have them call me. If we can get them in the right direction. I love talking to people. You know, it's okay, but I like talking to people. My background was in and out of Vietnam and other places, and I was a team leader for search and rescue. Probably embedded a lot of me with suicide, they don't have used to going out to jungle and fighting. After that, I went to work for John Hancock Insurance Company, and I wrote all that before I retired. And that's another place where you have suicide. Yeah, we did have to go out on our death. So my whole life has been in that situation. And I've never gone through that, but I have to. I have since we lost. Anybody got any questions? No.
We're starting early with Operation Barbecue.
No.
They have a camp here, like, I just know a little bit about it. I've been there. It's for veterans. They bring them in, they spend a weekend down there, go fishing with first responders and that sort of thing. Help them and bring their families down and spend a weekend playing, that sort of thing. Sounds like they'd be good,
Who's sponsors it?
You know, there's a name, there's a website, just Google Operation Barbecue.
Okay, and
They're out of Kansas City, they have a camp down there. They said first responder, but what they do is, so they started when they had the earthquake, the tornado job. They got a bunch of barbecue teams together in Kansas City, went down there and said first responders and stuff. Anyway, it got such a great response for it. It's pretty neat organization, so big trucks that roll into hurricane events, that sort of thing. So something some people might want to know.
definitely look into it. Other thing that I don't have to say, there was a barbecue or something down in your place. Maybe, all these Christian motorcycle people that have got people who do this professionally and they're on TV. You ever see that show, barbecuing? Yeah. The price is it's 10 grand, but they're probably rich to begin with. And he wants to do it. So I'm looking for a venue where I can set it up and get it on TV. I got till next spring or early summer to get this done. We probably will get it done someplace. There's another organization out there, and I forget the name of it. They bought a windmill.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
The ball.
They've got 1,000 members, businessmen coming out, it's a Christian organization. Except, you know, what's going on and we'll come to Jesus. And it's a really neat thing to do. However, I don't have I want to get into that organization because all they have to do is get each member gave me $1 once a month. That's $1 grand a month, that's $12 grand a year. That's like paying income to me. I'll take all that dollars and I can put it to good use. Really good. I do have to buy the food for one day at my event this year. That's going to cost me probably $400. The rest of it is donated by Upland Fishery out there in Greenview, Upland Fish Company. By Dave, he's wonderful. The other one is by Chris over here, Butcher Block. So we got some classy food coming, but on the other one, which is going to be brisket, we're going to do that. We're going to pay for it because I like brisket anyway. We're going to have. So that's that on the events. That's how we raise money. It's just word of mouth. I don't do anything in the newspaper. I did a year on the radio. It did help a little bit, but not enough. That's about it, really. I don't have my staff here, who's Laura Val. He's so good. And then Reverend Mace, he's really good also. Those two, they can make you walk on water. Anybody got any other questions?
Wrap it up.